All right, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to your absolutely favorite podcast.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah.
With Griffin,
Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin.
with Griffin, yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Episode 151, back at it. Riffin with Griffin once again. I'm by myself, so that's why I'm not sitting in my normal place. But I don't know, maybe I'm trying to rebrand. You never know what's going on with me. But today, I'm going to talk about upcoming shows, last weekend shows, new podcasts I got coming out. I want to go into, finally, I want to talk about Big Brother. I love Big Brother. If you guys follow me, you know that. And I want to review this great Netflix series I saw called Clickbait. So stick around for that. Riffin! With Griffin. Yeah. All right, there we go. And we did it. And we're back at it. Riffin with Griffin once again. I'm by myself. Wiggs is out of town. Or I'd have him here with me and I'd be sitting over there and he'd be doing all this stuff. But then I thought to myself, you know what? I need to sit at the desk so I can do all the little show you the websites and put up the little graphics up, right? Sorry, I'm drinking coffee at the same time. Thanks to everybody that's listening on all the audio platforms. Thank you very much for being loyal listeners, and all you guys watching on YouTube, thank you guys too. All right, so before I do even go in about that, in a couple weeks, September 23rd to the 25th, I will be at Laughs Boston, everybody. Laughs Boston. So come check me out there, Laughs Boston. You can go to their website. You can go to my website. I got a link there, ticket link on my crazy website. But Laughs Boston, if you come check me out there. Go to Laughs Boston there, and then when you go to their website, you will see, the ticket link for all the different shows I got going on. Oh, look at that! For you people looking at me on YouTube. But anyways, Laughs Boston. That's that news that's going on there. Let's see what else I got going on. Also, I got a movie coming out too. That's kind of exciting. I did this other movie called what was it called? Electric Love. That was the name of it. Same creators, two great, just Victoria, and they're just they're just awesome. They're awesome people, man. They've put me in their two movies that they've made. You know what I mean? They're two movies that they've made, and I really appreciate they do, every time they call me up, I don't even look at the script. I just go, yeah, I'll do it. Let's go. You know what I mean? So, that's when you really trust people. So they're really cool peeps. Aaron, I want to get his last name right. Franken and Victoria Fratz, and they're actually a couple. They're actually engaged too, but they're actually a great power couple. Because they work well together. And we did this other movie. You can see this other movie on Hulu. It's called Electric Love. Let me go to Electric Love so you guys can. Here it is. Was that in 2018? Wow, I can't even believe that it was that long ago. Yeah, man, Electric Love. It was it's this great movie about just a little love story about a sort of modern love story about how people meet on the internet, and they have their own stories, and it's it follows 2 or 3 people's different stories, but it's actually nice. Mia Serafino, a friend of mine now, she's great in it, and Zach Morin, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he's in this other movie Val with me. He's a star of Val along with this other chick Misha, anyways, so check that out if you want to see a funny movie. Go check out Electric Love. It's actually a sweet little movie. And then I got this horror movie, Val, which is coming out, so check out Val too. All right. And then other news in my little world. Again, I've already talked about it, but I want to talk about it again. Make sure you guys also check out my new podcast on September 15th, which is in a couple days. September 15th. This is going to be this Wednesday. Make sure you check out Gen2Gen. Gen2Gen Podcast with me and my buddy Matthew Espinoza, he's like 24. I'm like, whatever, how old I am. You guys don't need to know. I'm old. I'm 49. And, we're just talking about we're just two generations coming together, learning from each other about what's going on in this generation, what was going on in the past generation, and just coming from two different sort of perspectives, old and young, common sense, and then you know what I mean? You guys, you'll get it. You get the concept. So if you want to check that out, that's going to be this Wednesday. So make sure you listen to that and look at that on all podcast platforms. All right. So this past weekend, I was in Denver. I was at the Comedy Works, and shout out to them. It was actually I had a really great time. Comedy Works was actually a really fun club. I've been to the other one. They have a newer club. It's actually a bigger club out in like a different part of Denver, but this is like the original one right smack in downtown. And I think the world's coming back slowly in terms of my world, the comedian world. It's coming back real slow, man. I don't know if people are actually... And then it's like also with the rules, like people don't know what they want to do yet. I mean, because there are people who don't want to get vaccinated or haven't gotten vaccinated yet. And it's like kind of thing where it's like the clubs, I feel like they're going to this, they're really worried about their liability. They're really worried about they just want to be open and not have to worry about this, not have to worry about closing because their staff gets sick. I mean, I get both perspectives, So they're all like, you have to now be vaccinated to get into the club. So that cuts out, a portion of the population that doesn't want to go. I mean, but listen, when you're at a comedy club, you're literally sitting right on top of people. There's so many people jam-packed into one room. So it is one of those things, man, where you just got to go, how can we make this as safe as possible? How can we keep the money flow coming in without having to worry about shutting down and all that kind of stuff? So, that is what it is. So I think, and then also the MC would ask, who is their first comedy show back since the pandemic kind of thing? And a lot of times it was like big clap. So it was like, this is people's first time actually coming back to the club because they just recently opened up. So, it was fun, though. I had a fun time in Denver. Denver's not too woke, but a little, those kind of finger snappy type people. I can't stand that shit, by the way. Just laugh. You know what I mean? If you say something poignant or you say something with some common sense approach, I don't need your freaking finger, that clicking of your fingers, snapping your fingers. Just clap. Just laugh. Just laugh. You know what I mean? There's some people that think they're smarter than they really are when they click their fingers. When they that was so woke, whatever it is. I hate that. But they're not there yet, but sometimes they're almost there. My favorite thing is to make jokes about stuff, and that's kind of like an edgy subject. But I try to do it in such a fun way that I'm still making woke people laugh. And I know when I'm making them laugh and they don't want to laugh, but they have to laugh because it's funny. And then they're sort of covering their mouth and they're kind of hiding like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm laughing at this. I love that reaction. And I see a lot of that. I actually get a lot of that. I mean, I have these jokes about a story about where I had a deaf guy helped me at the Apple store. And I just have a whole feelings about it. And I'm talking about it in such a way that you know what I'm saying. You get me. You know what I mean? And so you're going to laugh, but you're this kind of nonsense wokeness that you feel like, oh, well, you're not supposed to laugh about this. You're warring with that. I think that's my recent goal, is to make people war with themselves, and so it's like, it's okay to laugh at anything, actually. I mean, and the comic's job is my job is to present the subject in a way that you go, you just have to laugh. You know what I mean? I don't care what it is. Somebody in a wheelchair. It could be about anybody. It could be about anything, anybody. And I'm the kind of person, I will do the jokes in front of if I'm talking about whatever type of person, if they're in the crowd, believe me, I'm still talking about that. I don't care, because I feel like I feel like what I'm saying is fair. I'm not punching down. I'm saying what I feel is fair. and common sense approach to it, and I'm trying to make that funny. It's not easy, I put myself in a weird lane, and sometimes it's like it's challenging, and it doesn't always. It doesn't always work, and it's fair for you to have whatever response you have. When you go to a comedy show or you hear a joke, it's what, if you don't feel like it's funny, that is a fair response. But what I'm saying is, like, what you do with that response is what the problem with society is right now. I feel like you don't like what someone's saying, then just don't like it and move on with your life. But people go, oh, I can't just not like it. I have to now tear this person down and remove them from society. That is the fair thing. That what they think is now fair. So that's what, you becomes a problem. It's like at a comedy show, as a comic, you think, this is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, you don't find this funny, so you don't laugh. You know what I mean? Like, and then you move on with your life. Now it's like, you don't find it funny, so now you got to go home and tweet, oh man, I was at this comedy show and this person said this. And then you're putting your own spin and take on it, and then it turns into like something that it's not. Just don't laugh. That's all you got to do. You're done. Your response to what I said that you didn't like, you have the most perfect response. Non-laughter. Just look at me with indifference, and then you move on to the next one, and maybe you'll like the next one, But who knows? So Denver was fun. And they had a condo, though, and they hadn't been using the condo. I guess, they use the condo for the comics, but they haven't really been using it. So there was a little, like, there was no internet. Can you imagine? Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even realize. As a comic, when you don't have internet at the hotel, even any place you go, there's no internet. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't know how people did it before. I don't know how comics went to a place for a weekend and they didn't have internet. Like, this is like, I'm so modernized in terms of just that little tidbit. Because for me, too, is I game stream. And by the way, you can check me out daily on Erik Griffin Gaming. Check out Erik Griffin Gaming on Twitch. Make sure you come check me out. I game most every day, so I'll probably be gaming after I finish doing this podcast. So make sure you guys come check me out. You can also see my videos. You can also see my videos of some of the game, like earlier game streams on YouTube, where you can go to Erik Griffin Gaming there too. So for the people watching, I'll show you. Here we go, Erik Griffin Gaming, and I partnered up with a gaming chair company, but you can see all that information right there. So so I have like all my videos and stuff there, so you can come check me out. So anyways, the reason why I bring this up is when I'm on the road, I game. I have to stream, so I need the internet to work. It's like I need the internet to work the damn internet wasn't working. and then they also had the nerve to not having the TV, no cable hooked up or nothing. But I actually don't have necessarily a problem with that. It's because when I go on the road, I don't even turn the hotel TV on, and there's plenty of TV there. I'm always looking at TV on my iPad now, because I have like everything. Like I spend. It's like before we spend all this money on cable and we got these channels and everybody's like, oh, we got to get rid of cable because I have whatever. But damn, I spend a lot of money on streaming services. Guys, first of all, I have YouTube TV. Highly recommend YouTube TV, man, actually. And this ain't even it's so great. Those streaming live TV services, maybe they're all good. I'm just telling you my experience with the one I have. I have YouTube TV, and you can have like 5 people on your account. And you get like local TV, and I got it too because you have the NFL Red Zone, and then you can, it's just great, and it's like you can watch it anywhere too. Like you can look at TV anywhere on your phone, on your whatever. So I'm always looking at that there. But I got all these services, so I got YouTube TV now. I got the new one, the Paramount Plus. I just got that. I got Hulu. I got Netflix. I have Amazon. I have Disney. With the Hulu, I have Disney and ESPN. Did I say Amazon? Yeah, Amazon. It's like, and then at one point I had DC Universe. So I actually count HBO as a streaming service now too, even though that comes, that's bundled. Even those things count as streaming services when they're bundled in with your cable or whatever it is, right? So if you're paying for extra premium channels, those premium channels are now streaming services. Because like if you have Showtime anytime. If you have HBO Max, that's, you can stream that. If you have, so these are all streaming services. So I'm like, I'm just waiting for a company to come together and be like, hey, get all of that under one thing. And that's just going to be what we had before anyway. So now I'm paying for 7 different streaming services. It's craziness. Now, some of them all have the same stuff on it. So I don't know. I feel like I'm spending just as amount of money on all this as I did when I just had cable. And you feel like you're saving money, but it's like, wait a minute, I'm still spending $150, $180 a month for entertainment. But you know what though? I as someone in the entertainment business, people should pay for it, so I don't really have a problem with it because I'm like, I get it. It's just like for the longest time, I like when you think about software, like think about like Microsoft Word. I would imagine. For the last 15 years or however long Microsoft Word has been available, I always had a cracked copy of it. I always had a bootleg copy of Microsoft Word. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I've ever paid for Microsoft Word or even Photoshop. I got a computer sitting on my desk right now. I have a second iMac, an older iMac, right? And it's sitting right there. And the only reason why I have it is because I have a copy of Photoshop, an old school copy of Photoshop on it that I still use to edit photos with because Photoshop is great. And I never paid for that Photoshop. And so I have so many softwares like that. So then now I think the software companies have figured it out where you can't actually buy software anymore. You have to get a subscription to the software now. So it'll be $6 a month for Photoshop or however much they're charging for it now. It's all subscription service. So finally I was like, you know what? I've gotten Microsoft Word for free for so long. It's time for me to start paying these people for this thing that they provided. So now I got the Microsoft. You have to sign up for this Microsoft thing, and then you get Word and Excel and all this stuff. I don't even know if the kids out there even use Excel anymore. But you could hear me sipping my coffee. But it is what it is. So I'm finally paying for that. So anyway, what am I trying to say? Well, my point is it's the same thing with entertainment. It's like, we get, it's like pay for it. I mean, it takes a lot to put together television shows and all these things. And it's like, you know what? We're in a capitalist system. People should, be compensated for what they do. I mean, TV works just like podcasting if you think about it. You get it for free. Like you're getting this for free right now. Me particularly, but maybe not even you might be paying for some, you may be paying extra for Apple Music and then you're getting podcasts along with that, even though I don't see no money from that or whatever you're using to get your, whatever you're using to stream your stuff, you're paying for that in other ways. But we always forget about the artist. I mean, that's the crazy thing. We always forget about the artist. It's like Spotify and all this stuff. We pay for that. And recently now they figured a way to monetize and people are getting some money, but it's not big money. But it's like the artist, the thing you're actually using this for, that person gets screwed over the most. And these companies have all this money. It's like we love the use of something like Spotify or Facebook or whatever. We love the use of that. But we forget that we're using it because we want to see such and such. We want to see this thing. And that thing that you want to see, that person gets the least amount of the money some of the times. So that's what this is. And by the way, just, I love just going on a tangent on my own podcast because, it's like I see both sides too. Like, say it's something like Facebook, So a lot of people are talking about how, you can't, they're capping it. They don't let you reach all your followers. They don't, so you can't go viral as much as people did before because they're saying, hey, if you want to reach all your followers, hey, pay me this amount of money when you like promote ads and you promote posts and things on your Facebook, when you promote those posts, when you pay those posts, then they're saying, hey, pay this, and then we'll make sure more of the people that follow you see it. Now, there's a side of that people are like, hey, these people are following me. I should be able to put up a post and all my followers should see it. And I understand that. I ultimately agree with that too. But I also understand the idea that, hey, I'm a company. All right. If I'm Facebook, I'm like, hey, I'm a company. I provide the server space. I have provided this service for you. Pay for it. And I understand that too. Like MySpace, Instagram, all the same company, they've collected and they've built a thing where millions of people, like literally hundreds of millions of people, are on Instagram. And they're saying, hey, we have to pay for this. We have to, do the server space. We have to make sure, we're the ones that are making sure everything runs smoothly. So all these hundreds of millions of people can be in one place. And you want to just say, and we're letting you promote to all of these people. That service should cost some money so they can keep the lights on and whatever. So part of me understands it. But then there's the other side where you go, well, yeah, but you've also created this thing where you're now putting up ads to hundreds of millions of people all at once. And so I think that's how you should make your money and let us interact for free. So it's like two sides of that coin. So I don't know where you stand on that. I'm sure you can let me know in the comments right there. Do you understand both sides, or, what your perspective is on that? Just try to be respectful, man. You know what I mean? We all can have our own opinion. You don't have to trash someone else immediately when it's time to give your opinion. You're an idiot. And then boom, 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 write yourself. You don't have to say all that. I'm open to all your sides. Just write what you think. You don't have to comment on what I think. Just write what you think. Okay? All right. So here we go, guys. Now, I haven't talked about this in a while, and I haven't talked about these kinds of shows in a while because I haven't really been watching them. But I have been watching this one. Y'all know I love Big Brother. I love Big Brother. I don't know. If you've never watched Big Brother, just to give you a quick recap, it's usually like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's usually like 16 people. They live in this house. They're completely locked in this big house with a big backyard, whatever it is. It's not even a house. It's probably like a studio, but they have a house. It's completely insulated. It's like Truman Show, and they're being recorded 24/7. Even when they're sleeping, you can go to Paramount. And that's another reason why I love having Paramount Plus, by the way, because you can get the Big Brother live feeds, and you can watch those as part of your service. I love that. But anyways, they're being recorded 24/7, and it's a competition show where these people they have these competitions against each other, and then they eliminate people every week. Someone gets eliminated, and it whittles down to the last person, and the last person wins $750,000. They raised it up this year. And they have these competitions, and so you have to be like the head of household. When you win the head of household competition, then you nominate 2 people for eviction. And then there's like a veto competition that those 2 people have a chance to like win some like physical competition, or some mental competition, and then they get to take themselves down. And then the head of household has to nominate someone else, and then the whole group they get to like decide who gets to go home. So then alliances form, so then people start to, and that's the whole point of the game. I mean, Big Brother's a game of like, it's a psychological warfare. It really is it's like, it brings out, in my opinion, the worst in people. It brings out the worst qualities in people. And that's how you move ahead in the game, because you have to lie and cheat, and you have to like, you have to lie to people's face. Oh, I'm not going to nominate you. I support you. And then they go to the confessional and they're like, I don't support her. I just told her what she wanted to hear. I mean, that's what the game pretty much is. And so I think that's why people like watching it, because you just, and then it's like, you want to see somebody like, well, are they going to play the game with integrity? How do you play the game with integrity when $750,000 is on the line? And then like, you're making the right, you have to make choices for you. It's a selfish, self-indulgent, really crazy game to watch, and I don't know, that's why I love watching it. So cut to this year. So I've talked about it in the past. Usually the show is It's just a bunch of pretty people doing pretty things. Also, like they're pretty and they're athletic. And I totally get that, actually. I mean, and so let me talk about this first, okay? Because I've talked about this in the past. So Big Brother will have they'll have in the past, it used to be, it would be 16, 17, mostly white, mostly pretty. They're all pretty, they're all athletic. And I get why they have to be athletic. The athletic part about it is all these competitions that they have, a majority of them are physical competitions where they have to or endurance competitions where they have to hold on to something for an hour. So when the head of household competition will be you have to hold on to a thing and you're 10 feet off the ground and you have to hold on to this rope and whoever lasts the longest wins. So the people that are on the show got to be physical specimens. Now, the pretty part about it is having handsome, beautiful people is because it's a TV show. And people are at home they're looking at this and, we love beauty, okay? We admire beauty. We admire that. I mean, it is what it is. And that's what you want to see. Now, in the past 5-6 years, woke culture has come in and, these woke people think we want to see ugly people on TV. We have to represent everyone. Nah, bitch. No, you don't. What are you talking about? If I want to see ugly people, I just go down to the post office, okay? If I want to see ugly people, I can just walk outside, all right? I can just look in them damn mirror and be like, do I want to see that on TV? That's why I'm always the seventh lead on a show. I'm the funny guy. I know where I am and the things. I'm handsome to some people, you know what I mean? But I'm talking about just pure walking down the street going, damn, look at her, look at him. I know I don't got that. You got to get to know me and I will charm the hell out of you. Look at this beautiful woman I have that's going to marry me. Okay, so we all have that in us, but I'm just talking about raw handsomeness, beauty. That's what we want to see on TV. Okay, this is an escape from reality. I don't need to see ugly motherfuckers on TV. Okay, stop. It's ridiculous. Okay, so this woke thing has come around where Big Brother has been okay, you know what we need to do? We need to have all different body types. We need to have, and they still they'll have some homely people on there. Let's just say that. I ain't gonna say ugly. I'm just saying they're not exceptional. Okay, they're just you see that and go, oh, that's a chick. I know this chick type of thing, and I go, okay, that's fine. You want to do that? That's fine. But the one that bugs me, though, what they do is they have people who are not physical. They have people who are not athletic, and they have people who are not in shape on the show. They always fail. They always fail. And it's why are you doing this? The one guy on the show this year, his name is Derek Frazier, actually the son of Frazier, the boxer. He's this fun, fat, gay dude, okay? And he even says damn, I feel like the fat kid at camp that can't do anything. Yeah, because you are. That's exactly who you are. He's the fat kid who can't do any of the physical stuff that everyone else is doing. And it's to me, don't have him on the show, or you need to have fat sort of activities so he can shine. You know what I mean? Because to me, it's ridiculous. So you putting him on the show and you setting him up for failure just to appease these woke bitches out here in the world. These, woke idiot, these social justice warrior idiots who think, are you happy now? So now you have the fat guy feeling like a fat guy to appease your stupid white guilt. Or even not, you know what? Let me retract that. It ain't even just white people who are stupid woke, okay? It's all of us. All races of people who think they want to speak for everyone. It's you're so stupid. So now you got this fat dude who can't freaking do any athletic stuff, and he's failing, and he feels terrible about himself just so you can feel good at home being well, now everyone is being represented. Shut up. So get this fat dude off this damn show and get somebody in shape on here, because that's what the damn show is about. It's so stupid. So anyways, that pissed me off. They pissing me off with this now. You know what I mean? They really pissing me off. It's yes, let's get people from all walks of life. You can have in shape pretty Asians. You can have in shape pretty Latinos. You can have in shape pretty black people, pretty white people. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we want to see. Okay? And get that on there and stop all this other nonsense. All right? All right. That's my rant about that. So, anyways, for the history of the show, everybody that's won has been white. Or pretty much white, okay? Like for a majority of the people. I think that one chick won. I don't think she was white, and she was like the football. She was like a female football player. I felt like she was like not Samoan but she was something like that. But no one black has ever won the show, okay? No one black has ever won the show. So now let's go to this year's cast of Big Brother, okay? So here's the cast of Big Brother. And if you look at it, there are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black people in the cast this year. I don't know if there's been that many before, but maybe there has. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying. But as a person of color myself, I saw that and I was like, oh, this is great. You know, there was there was a chubby girl. You know, you got the Asian guy. You know, it's always like a bunch of pretty white people and a couple of mixed people. It's just what they do. But there's 6 black people on the show. Now, day one. Now, like I told you on Big Brother, alliances are formed. Okay, alliances are formed, and they always have a name for their alliance. And they're like, so secretly, all these black people got together. These 6 black people got together. And they said, hey, let's have a secret alliance. Let's have a secret alliance to get all 6 of us to the end of this show where we will ensure that a black person will win Big Brother. And they did it. They got together and they did it. And they are the 6 that are left. And this one chick, Tiffany, at the bottom left there, Tiffany came up with a plan. She came up with a plan that said, we all need to buddy up with another person in the show as a duo. And then and make everybody feel like this duo is like, you know, a strong duo. So then when they get nominated, and they even said to themselves too, let's say they went head of household, they will nominate one of the cookout plus their duo, and then they have the numbers to vote the other person out. And that's what they did all season. And it was masterful plan, and they executed it. And now, for the first time ever in Big Brother history, there's 6 black people that are the final 6, and a black person will win the show. Unless they come up with some nonsense for us like, the fight back, and here's 2 more people get to come back into it. But other than that, they did it. And it was tough. They were fighting each other. You know, this one, the girl Tiffany down there, she's selfish, but it's a selfish game. But so they had this thing where it was the final 7 of them, okay? And it was supposed to be, they were supposed to let this one guy win or any other person win except her. And then, because her person was this white girl, Claire, top right. It was her and Claire. And so they did the competition, and Tiffany was supposed to throw it, and she didn't. So she won the competition, and then she put up Xavier, a bald head black dude at the bottom there. She put up Xavier and his duo person, Alyssa, up at the top. But then what happened was Xavier won the veto, took himself down. Now Tiffany now was forced to put her girl up, and it was dramatic. But she got what she deserved because she was being selfish. But to her credit, she put that girl up. She told her, hey, listen, I don't want to be responsible for sending someone of color home, and I have to put you up. And it was so dramatic, and they were crying and all that. But she got what she deserved. She shouldn't have done that. So I'm pretty sure she's not going to win because of that. Now let me get like some, Big Brother. I've watched Big Brother now for the last like 7-8 years now. And only one time I've seen like the A-type male, athletic dude win. And that was the year, and they called the guy racist. It was crazy. But anyways, of the people that are left, I don't know who's actually going to win. It really is going to depend on who positions themselves in the right way. And also, by the way, one of the things I like about Big Brother is there's a certain point when you get kicked out, you become part of the jury. And then you go from the Big Brother house, you get kicked off, and now you're a part of the jury. And this jury of like 10, I believe, or 7 or 9, I think it's a jury of 9, they get to decide who wins Big Brother. So the two people at the end are sitting in chairs, and they have to like ask. Then the jury asks them questions. So when you turned on me, so it's a lot of bitter bitches in the jury. Okay, a lot of times it's a lot of bitter people in the jury, and what ends up happening is, the person that you think should win doesn't win. Because, and that's what usually happens. Like for the past, like the game's broken. Like the person that should win, in my opinion, hasn't really won. It's one out of 7 times in the past 7 years, in my opinion, the person that should win Big Brother doesn't win. Like it's all, who it is? It's somebody who's kind of like a beta. They're just kind of there. They've won some competitions, but they're not ruffling any feathers. They're pretending like they're, what? I didn't do anything. They're pretending to be like this, like, and they don't deserve the money, in my opinion. But maybe that's part of the gameplay. But who knows? It's just your whatever you think, what you think who should win. But so of these people, like I said, let me put him back up on the screen. So there's the fat kid. That's Derek Frazier. You know what I mean? He would, in a normal situation, I think that if he ends up at the end, but see, I don't even know now, because the cookout, what they did was so masterful. And now, again, also, there's 6 of them, okay? So 4 of them are going to be in the jury, okay? So it just depends on who they convince the other people that are in the jury to vote for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Tiffany came up with the master plan. Okay, she came up with the master plan to kick everybody out. If she ends up in the final 2, she should win, because she did the most. Even though she was selfish and all the things she did the most. But if she is in the final 2, she should win, period. That's what I think. She would be the most deserving to win, because she was the most terrible. She was the most, but also the smartest. It was the smartest plan I've ever seen in Big Brother history. And they executed it even when they were infighting. So Tiffany is, to me, the person most deserving to win Big Brother. But will she win? I don't know. Like the chick Azza up there, she didn't do anything. She can't win any competitions. So it's like, I don't know. If she's sitting next to Tiffany, Azza don't deserve the money. And I think the people in the cookout would know, even if they don't like Tiffany and they don't like her because she made some selfish choices, they going to pick her. And the other people that are in the jury are going to be like, wow, she came up with this plan? I can't believe it. So she would win. Now, Derek, he has the best chance to win too. Not Derek, Xavier, bald head black guy in the bottom there. He's been a part of, he was throwing competitions, winning them when he should. He went on the block and survived. He made sure the cookout moved forward and won. So if he's sitting, if it's Tiffany and Xavier sitting there, I think Xavier wins it because everyone else don't like Tiffany. Okay, so that's the thing too. I think, and that's why it behooves Tiffany to make sure to kick Xavier out, and same thing with Xavier. If he has a chance to kick her out, he should in this final time. So, but the ones, and then that kid, Kyland, the other, like the curly head black kid, this dude right here, he's another one that, like, I think if he's sitting next to Tiffany or Xavier, he doesn't win because he hasn't done enough to, to do it. But who knows? It just, depends on the jury. So, but who might win? This chick, Hannah or Azza, those are the two kind of people that kind of win Big Brother. They're just kind of like, blah. They're kind of there. They don't really do much, but they're sitting next to somebody that is like hated, and then they get the votes. That's what happens so many times. But you know what? We'll see. They're fighting it out, this final 6, so it's the last 5 weeks of the show about to happen, and I just feel like, we will see how it comes about. Like, you know what I mean? We'll see if, but it's actually very fascinating. And I'm curious just to see if people talk about race a lot. I mean, I like to think I don't talk about race a lot, but I know I talk about race too. I don't make everything about race because I don't like that. I think that, I don't care about your age, race, gender, sexual orientation. I just think that you could still be an asshole even with those things. And if and I hate that. And if I go, you're being an asshole, and then you're like, oh no, you're only saying that because I'm, and then you fill in the blank of whatever you want it to be. I don't like that. We've set our society up where that's what it is. It's like anytime somebody sucks, they can't just be like, you know what? I could have sucked right now. maybe this isn't because of my age, race, gender, or sexual orientation. That's a thing. And I think that's what's wrong with what's going on right now is now we can't criticize anybody without them bringing up their thing. And I hate that, I hate that. But that being said, I do wonder of all the Big Brother fans, are you sitting at home now being like, are there white people out there who are like, damn, I can't believe those black people did that? Or are you mad because it's 6 black people? Or do you notice it? Is it a big deal to you? Do you admire it? Or are you mad about it? Because they played the whole house, man. They played everybody. They played them to like an instrument. And here we are, and they did it. So I don't know do people have feelings about it? I mean, it's weird. I mean, this is like the sign of like how times have changed, or I don't know, man. It's a weird feeling. I hate that we live in such a society that race is such a thing. Gender, sexual orientation, all this stuff. It's like it just bogs down our minds. Once we're able to normalize all those things, when it just doesn't matter anymore, then we could just get to like, who's the most talented, who's the smartest, who's the funniest, who's the most qualified, who's the most skilled. I wish we can get to a world where those things mattered more than tribalism. More than like, well, I want to be around people that, I look like, it's like we're all victims of it, because even myself, I'm looking at this and I love this and I love it. Do I love it because I love Big Brother and the best people have been there? Or is there a part of me that's like, yeah, good, I'm glad it's all black people finally? I mean, is that a fair feeling to have too? So I don't know. It's just something to think about, guys. It's really something to, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I know there's people that watch the show. There's like, I always get, these like, like really non-thinking comments of people that just immediately jump to, they're like, oh, you're doing the same thing, whatever. They're not really hearing me. They don't want to have a nuanced discussion. I'm gonna make some nuanced merch. If you out there, if you're a good artist, you want to help me with some nuanced merch, some Riffin with Griffin nuance based merch, hit me up about that. Because I need some new merch. Anyways, all right. So that is my Big Brother take. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it all ends. All right. So now, this is the point in the show. Well, I'll tell you right now. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! I'm giving spoiler alerts right now. So if you don't want this show to be spoiled, and the next thing I'm going to talk about right now is Clickbait. It's this show on Netflix. So this, again, is the spoiler alert time in the show. So if you haven't watched Clickbait, thank you for listening to Riffin with Griffin. Thank you for watching Riffin with Griffin. And please come back after you've watched Clickbait. But if you have watched it and you want to hear me talk about it, now is the time. Let's time stamp it now. Okay, I will give you a second. Thank you for watching. Everyone else that is still here, thank you for being here. Let's talk about Clickbait, man. Woo! Clickbait was, oh man, I don't even know what to say about this show, man. Zoe Kazarian, Betty Gabriel, Phoenix. These are some of the stars of the show. There's a dude from Entourage who I'm not a huge fan of his acting. I think that was always the biggest problem with Entourage is like, I never believed that he was a big star. You know what I mean? But he does what he does in this thing. So Clickbait, man. Clickbait. Clickbait is about it's about a guy. Well, actually, I mean, it is what it is. What it sounds like, So Clickbait is about so this guy is kidnapped, and a video is put on the internet. And the video says I abuse women, and he has to hold up a sign that says I abuse women. And at 5 million views, I will be killed. I'm going to die at 5 million views. So now it's about this. You see the story unfold in front of you, and it's about, so you find out about this guy. You find out about his family. You find out about his kids and the events that led up to this him being kidnapped and ultimately being killed, by the way. Like I said, I already gave you the spoiler alert. So if if you mad that you hearing stuff right now, that's on you. Okay. I gave a huge spoiler alert. All right. At 5 million views, I die. That's what it says. So, all right, let me talk about the show first. First of all, to me, this show feels like an algorithm show. What do I mean by that? It feels like Netflix has a supercomputer that's like, what are all the things people like to see? Let's put all those things in the show. Then they went to a creator and said, okay, I need you to make sure that it's like super diverse. Let's have a bunch of mixed race. It has to be super diverse. And it has to be about murder, and it has to be about this. And then, they said, okay, got you. And then they put it together. Because you had everything in this show, like everything, okay? You had evil white men. You had strong female leads. You had mixed race. You had like a black woman with a white guy and these mixed kids. The cop was Middle Eastern. You know what I mean? It was like... It was like a hodgepodge of everything you think. If you were woke, you would have loved this show. Okay. And, so that's what that was about, And so I thought that from the looks of it, I was like, oh, they really had a mixture of things in here, that you could just get lost in that and then forget about that. And then like it become just get into the story. But the story to me is what it was really great. So you come to find out that, so this guy's been kidnapped, and now he has a sister, and his sister's like sort of this like really toxic, sort of alcoholic, loud white girl who just is like, you don't like her at first. I don't know if I ever liked her in the show. So the actress played her just doing a great job. And, it starts with a family fight, and the brother's like, get out of here. I'm sick of you. You know what I mean? The black wife obviously doesn't like her. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a whole thing, Then this guy disappears, all right? Then the guy disappears. And then they're trying to figure out what's going on in his life. Then they come to find out he has these online profiles. He has these online profiles where he's been like, seeing other women, so he's like, oh man, he's online on all these different dating sites. And then you come to find out the wife has an affair, all right? So the wife has an affair, and then you flash to her telling him about the affair, and then them thinking that because she had an affair, he got on this dating profile and met up with a woman and cheated on his wife. So this other white woman comes forward, and she's like, yes, I had a relationship with your husband. And, so now it's like, oh, wow. Now they're starting to think, man, I abuse women. Then another video comes up and it's like, I killed a woman. It says I killed a woman. And so now they're in the uncovery of the investigation. You start to find out he has a bunch of profiles with fake names, and he's talking to and seeing a lot of women, he's seeing a lot of women. And so now they're figuring out they don't know who this guy is. And then he works at like a high school, like at a sports center with like young women. They're there. And then you're starting to get a sense that, oh man, he had an argument with one of the volleyball players, and that woman left the team. And so now you're thinking, oh man, this guy's a complete and total creep. And, now you think maybe he should have died. So now the cops are kind of on that tip of like, he should have been killed. This happened for a reason. And then the story unfolds. You start to find out like, oh man, the one woman was lying. You find out that the one woman, she said she had an affair with him. You find out, oh man, actually she never really met him. And this was all actually a whole big catfish thing. And then you start to find out, oh, he never made any of these profiles, and someone else made the profiles. And that's the person that you end up ultimately killing him, And then you find out, so then they have all these red herrings where it's like, you think it's his partner that works at the center who turns out to actually be a creep, So you think, is it him? You know what I mean? And then you find out like, so then you find out, oh man, one of the girls that he was dating was super messed up in her head. She was like bipolar and like, she was super depressed, and this online relationship she was having with him was like keeping her afloat. And then like there's these text messages that you see where he's trying to break up with her, like, look, I can't see you anymore. I don't want to see you anymore. And she's like, well, I told you what I'll do if you break up with me. And then the message is like, well, look, do what you got to do. It's not, whatever. And then that girl ultimately ends up killing herself. So she kills herself. And then her brother finds her. Then you start to realize, then you find out the brother and his coworker, they are the ones that kidnapped him and made the video. And you're like, oh man, so he actually did kill a woman because he killed a woman with his actions. And so, but then it gets even more complicated. So then in the process of finding this out and then investigating, and the sister goes and talks to the brother of the dead girl, and the brother's like, he's like, hey, I let him go actually. I had the wrong guy, He realized he made a mistake. So it turns out he made a huge mistake. It wasn't because you find out that it never was this guy at all. What's his name? Let me get his name right. What the hell's his name? Adrian Grenier. Adrian is his name, you come to find out he didn't make any of these profiles, that someone was using his identity the whole time. Okay. You come to find out he actually didn't cheat on his wife at all. He never cheated on his wife. He had a profile from like a long time ago. It felt like maybe he was thinking about it. Maybe he made the profile and then he just stopped and he just wasn't doing it anymore. Okay. So, all right. Oh man, it just gets good. So then the brother reveals, I let him go. And then you cut to now the cops think the case is closed because they got the brother of the dead girl locked away. Case is closed. The sister's like, no, I believe this guy. I think there's someone else out there, And then like the son, like he's got some, like, you think he's being catfished by some girl, by somebody that's getting information about, where this, everybody's interested in this murder because the guy dies and everybody's interested. It's like a national, oh man, this guy was, taken hostage, and so the whole country's talking about it. So he's like been talking to people. So he's talking to someone who, and then now he's starting to be suspicious. Like, hey, is this, are you real? And then he goes and meets up with her, and she actually is real, and she's helping him now figure out. So then the son, they track down with the metadata on the pictures, and they figure out where the pictures actually came from. And, because it was all fake. All the profiles were fake. The pictures were being manipulated, and then you find out, like, they find out, oh, the pictures are at this certain house, and then the little brother is on his computer. He shouldn't be, and he sees the messages, and then the little brother's like, he gets a baseball bat, and he's like, I'm going to go to that house, and I'm going to beat up whoever killed my dad, like, that stupid youth type of thing, So he goes over there, and when he gets to the house, he's at the house of a woman that works with his dad. And then you see flashbacks of her meeting the dad, and she's like this sweet old lady who's like, middle-aged woman who's like, hey, I'll help you with your computer. And she's the one that, like, she sets up his computer, and he's kind of like, oh yeah, here's the passcode to my phone. And, he's just like, whatever. And she's like this sweet woman, and she has access to his phone and access to his computer and all this stuff, And then, when you flash back to when he's like released by the brother of the dead girl, he says, I only told one person about the affair, and he knows who it is, and it's this middle-aged woman, right? So this whole time you think you know who the killer is. You think you know who did all this, right? And it's so complicated. So then, like, you flash back now and you see Adrian, he gets to this old woman's house, and he's like, why did you do this to me? I know it was you. I only told you. And then, he's like, I'm going to the cops, and he's like, I can't believe you did this. And then the husband of the old woman claps him on the head with a hammer, and they actually kill him. They're the ones that actually kill him. This old white woman and her husband kill him, put him in the woods, and because, look, they have an alibi because the kidnapper said they were going to do this anyway, right? But the metadata on the pictures gets the young son comes to the house, and now they're like, oh shit, we're caught. So they kidnap the young kid, this little half-mixed kid, and they take him off. to their little cabin or whatever, and now the chase is on, and then you see the flashbacks of what happened. It's this lonely woman. Her husband's not giving her any attention, and what she did was she's catfishing all these women. She used the pictures of the guy, and she made all these profiles, and then she's talking to them. She's like living vicariously through this made up version of the guy, and she gets on the phone and changes her voice because the other son figures that out because he talks to the chick who said she was having an affair, and she claims she met up with him in real life. He goes, "Did you really meet up with my dad?" He gets on a FaceTime call with her, and he's like, "Did you really meet up with my dad? And I really need to know." And then she finally reveals, she says, "No, I never met up with him, but it was so real to me." And then he plays a voicemail of his father's voice, and he goes, "Is this who you were talking to?" And then now she's like, "Oh no, that isn't who I was talking to." Now, and I don't know if you've ever been catfished. I've been catfished, okay? And that moment where you realize you don't know who the hell you're talking to is scary. So this woman, that's how they got the information too. They reveal that. She goes, "I haven't met him." And that's when you realize no one has met anyone. Like none of these women and things, like what you think you know, you don't know, right? And then the cops converge, they rescue the kid, and now you find out all this stuff, And it's just like the way they put it together, it's so great. If you watched it, I know you loved it. But so my ending thoughts about it is like, it's so crazy because it's like, what did they ultimately end up doing, Because then it turns out, like, whose fault was everything? So after I analyzed the show afterwards, and I was like, wow, like it's like a mind-bending thing of all the things you think's happening. You think you know who the killer is. You think you know what's happening. Then you just go, damn. Ultimately, he was actually a good guy, good dad, good husband. Ultimately, his wife cheated on him. His wife cheating on him drove him to like telling this woman who ultimately went on this trail because, then this is what, okay, so remember the brother of the girl who killed herself because she thought she got broken up with by the guy. They show that scene. So the husband, so the wife, the middle-aged woman, she's all hyped up now. She's all like, she got sexual energy now, pretending to be this guy and being like in love with these women and saying all this stuff. So now she gets into the bedroom with her old man husband, and she's like, I need a little peace. You need to give me some now. So they have like this like sex, and it was a great scene how they showed it. I thought it was very like, it's like you don't want to see your parents have sex, and this is what this scene was, but good for these actors for like, really playing it well, But then the husband, he finds her computer, and he's like, "What the hell is this? Who are all these people you're talking to?" And now she's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, it's not real." And so he's confronting her, and they're having this argument, and he's like, "You need to end this now." So she's all hyped up and upset because she's having this argument with her husband. So now she sits in front of the computer, and then the girl who is like a psycho, the girl that's got, I don't want to say psycho, that's bad. She's got mental problems, okay? She's going through some stuff. Now that's when that argument happened. She's like, "Where are you? Where are you? Are you ignoring me?" And then the old woman now who was like gonna lose her husband, and she's all like, "Look, I'm not your therapist. I don't want to talk to you right now. You gotta leave me alone." And then the girl's like, "I told you what I'll do if you don't do it." Then she's kind of like, "Well, I don't care. Do what you want to do." It's all and that's when the girl kills her. That's what triggered that. So you almost go, everything's justified, is what I'm saying, and that's what made it interesting. It was no one's real fault. It's like the wife has an affair, and she breaks it off, and then that you think it's that guy too because the guy, and then like she has an affair with she's a teacher, so she has an affair with someone at the school, so that her kids go to that school, so that causes issues because the affair comes out, and then people think this guy's a monster. It turns out the husband, like I said, the husband was like a great dude. The wife was the cheater. Turns out, so it's like ultimately as woke as they tried to make this show, ultimately it was all the women that messed everything up. You know what I mean? It was like this black woman cheated on her white husband and triggered a chain of events. And then this middle-aged white woman caused a death and all this, killed him and all this kind of stuff. So I don't even know if they achieved what they were trying to achieve ultimately in the thing. But it's completely worth the watch. I love a kind of show that makes you think. I love a kind of show that makes you think about even race stuff. If it makes you think about race, if it makes you think about life, if it makes you think about, hey, who are you really talking to when you're on the internet talking to people? Even if you think you know the person, or even if you've met them, that thing you're saying, those words you're saying, it's not real, man. It's not real. And you got to be aware of that. You got to see people in person. Even a voice can be fake. You know, you're not, that's not the person. So it really brought up all these themes and talks. And if you went and watched it and you came back and listened to this portion of the podcast, I really appreciate that. But for people that didn't even care because they're never going to watch it anyway, I think you still should go watch it because it's a great watch. And so I super thumbs up. Super thumbs up for Clickbait on Netflix. Totally should watch that. But, you know, I don't know. And if there's a show out there that you're like, Griff, I want to see what you think about this show, and you want me to take a look at it, I for sure think, you know, send me some shit in the comments, and I'll be sure to, you know what I mean? I will listen, you know what I mean? So, but ultimately, that's it this week. Thanks for listening and watching Riffin with Griffin. You know, we're here every Monday. Like I said, I'm coming to Boston, so make sure you people are Boston in like 2 weeks. I'll be at the Laugh Boston, 23rd to the 25th. So come check that out. And, you know, make sure you check out Gen2Gen Podcast on September 15th. I'll be on King of the Sting some more too, so check that out. It might even be a permanent thing. I think we haven't decided yet. So make sure you guys, you know, look for me on there too. That's a fun podcast to be a part of. And, you know, keep coming here. I'm still going to do Riffin with Griffin. I got real world advice from a grown-ass man coming up soon. I like doing them live. I might just switch to completely all live every week. I want to incorporate some fan questions, maybe live fan questions. Who knows? Well, I don't know if I should do that live because I don't trust you people. But, you know, we'll see what it is. But anyways, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. I love all the supportive comments. And if I triggered something in you, you want to talk about something, put it in the comments. I do look at the comments, and let's, you know, keep the discussions going, keep the common sense going, and, you know, enjoy yourself, y'all. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next week.